Finally, it's here, the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. And it's obvious, you can see there is now no Edge version anymore. Also the basic S8 has now these curved edges. Not so much curved like on the Galaxy Edge Notes, for example, that was really way over here, just slightly, so that if you look from the front, it looks like as would there no bezel at all. So it's bezel free. And if you compare that to the S7, it's almost a little bit smaller, 68 instead of 70 millimeters, so that's why you can use, and here on the bigger one it's 73 millimeters. Even the smaller one that has now a display size of 5.8 inch instead of 5.1 from the S8. So nevertheless you can use it here with one hand and even swipe up and down. That's a new user experience here. It's called Samsung Experience 8.1, not touch with anymore. So you see here, that's why this is really usable with one hand, even if it's so large. So you have these edges here now if you want it or not. On the back side, you see we have two versions here. That's the black one, like always, metal framed glass backside, and this one is a silver one. There is available a gray one. I couldn't get it here in front of the camera, and in some markets also gold and blue, so 5 colors at all. But this one, the silver one here, is the most interesting one because, yeah, it looks very classy, but on the other hand, I hope you can see, it's really like a mirror, full of fingerprints, and just swiped it some minutes ago, and nevertheless, it's already full of them. But nevertheless, I guess there might be some of you who really will like that. And you have see also that was, I wanted to show you here, these small and tiny bezels, even on the upper and left and right, how you want to call it. So it's really amazing what Samsung built into this panel here and into this housing. So even the big one, the S8 Plus here, like I already told you, 6.2 inch. Nevertheless, it's not that huge that they would say, okay, I cannot use it anymore with one hand. You cannot reach, of course, the upper third or quarter of the touchscreen, of course, but at least here, lower end, and especially if you have these app launcher sizes here, there's not much more to scroll here. I'm sorry for that, but you know how with this worked one. It's possible at least. The other thing is, first, even in landscape mode, let's go once more to that, to have that navigation in white here. So if you hold it like that and, for example, watch a YouTube video, it's hard not to touch on the touchscreen here now, like this one here, for not for purpose, just for unwanted touch here, because the bezels are so small now. And not to remind, if it falls down right on the edge here, it might be a problem if this glass is breaking here. So glass, like on the backside, I'm always telling you, if you have glass, it can break, even if it's scratch proof like these here. Nevertheless, the other thing, let's go to iris scan. There is a front camera now with 8 megapixels instead of 5, like on the S7, and there is a second one here on the right one with 3.7 megapixels for iris scanning. That working like that, you have to go like this, and then I hope you can see, come close, and sometimes it's working and sometimes not. The problem is, for me at least, wear glasses normally, and the software forced me to unleash the glasses, then it's working. But if I'm now trying this one with glasses, it's not working, at least under these light conditions. Here it's in a closed room, mid-class light situation, not worse, and not the worst one, not the best one, so right in between, and it's not working always. So for me, come to the conclusion, like always, that's not the first phone with iris scanner. You know, ZTE I showed you, for example, on the Mobile World Congress some years ago. It's taking quite some time. So for me, having the fingerprint sensor here on the backside, or just pin or swipe gesture here on the front, would be for me the quickest way to unlock. By the way, when we're here on the backside with that fingerprint scanner, sensor here. It's not a little bit lowered like on others that use on the backside. It's fingerprint sensor. It's just a small bezel around here. I do feel the camera even more than the fingerprint sensor. And the second one is I would have placed it like that one, not only to avoid any misunderstandings here, camera, fingerprint, fingerprint, camera, whatever. But also, it's even on the smaller one, if you look at that one here, at least for me, I'm holding my phone kind of like that, with that finger here, so that it's not dropping down, no risk. And in that way, if you look now on the back side, or like this, on the back side my finger is here. Even if I'm making it that way, finger stays here. So it has to go over here, and is this, no, oh, here is the fingerprint sensor. So it's not a good idea in my opinion. And the second one is, it's of course the problem here on the larger one. It's now going like that here over, and it's not enough, so I have to re-grab, and then I finally have it. So once more here it would have been better, not even to speak, I was no friend from that here on the front, because it always was a little problem to get that here, but if on the back, then here. By the way, home button is another thing. You all have seen, I guess, these leaks where you always have seen, okay, that mechanical home button here is gone now. But you see, you have it now on the always on screen. So if you tap here, you're getting a little feedback here, so it's almost feeling like on that mechanical button before, not quite exactly the same, but you at least get an impression, okay, it's done, he got it, and it's okay. So for me, a good decision. And something more you should know is on the side here, that's a new button that's called the Bixby button, because Bixby is the artificial intelligence, or let's say something like the Google Assistant, now coming here with the Samsung S8 and S8 Plus. Unfortunately, I'm coming here with my video from Germany, and in Germany we don't have any Bixby, so this is available only in English. And even if I would now change the language, it wouldn't work. So countries that don't have original speaking English, so let's say except US and UK, won't have any Bixby. I guess in China, I've heard, and in Korea, of course, a home country of Samsung, there will be Bixby also in these languages, but all other countries will have to wait. Don't ask me how long. It may be weeks, it may be months, I do not know, and I can't show you any more than this at the moment. And you know all these Google Assistants, Siri, Alexa, and how they're called, you name it. So they all are kind of the same, and it's not possible just from some minutes to say if it's better or what's the difference. So we will make in quite a while, as soon as possible, another video with that Bixby, and I'll show you a little bit more into the details, how it's working, how the differences are. Give me some time as soon as it's available here in Germany. Thanks for that. Coming back to the specifications, I already told you 5.8, 6.2 inches, and the resolution is the same, meaning 1440 like usual, but here it's now not 2560 but 2960. So an extra 400 pixels in height, so it's getting a little bit longer here. 142 and 149 and 160 millimeters here in height, but nevertheless, even the big one you can use. Okay, one more iris scan. Here we go. You can always use or still use it in one hand, at least the upper or the lower, let's say third, like that one here. You don't reach the top one here, so you have to re-grab, but nevertheless, for such a huge phone with 6.2 inches, it's quite okay, in my opinion, to use with one hand. And of course, you have this one with a landscape experience. This is great. Especially with this resolution, of course, you have here it's 529 and 570 ppi, so both have a real crisp image. Both come with a new processor, of course. It's the Exynos 8895, or depending on the country, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835. In the US, I'm definitely sure that it will be the Qualcomm. In other countries, I'm not quite sure. But both are very powerful. Both are in 10 nanometers, 8 cores, 2.3 and 1.7 or 1.9 gigahertz. We have to see that depending on the countries. And 4 gigabyte of internal, 4 gigabyte of RAM plus 64 gigabyte internal expandable memory, or you can see it the better here on the silver version. There's a combination slot here for the nano SIM and the micro SD card, up to 256 gigabyte, no problem at all. Then coming to 4G, officially it's supported with the chipsets Cat16. That would mean 1 gigabit. But of course, there are, as far as I know, no country in the world that's offering this kind of really extremely fast 4G networks. So in most countries it will be, let's 450, 600 megabits, something like that. But it's possible, at least from the hardware, with up to 100 with 1 gigabit. Then it's the first phone with Bluetooth 5.0. So 4.2 was the last current standard. So it's the first one here. So meaning you have, of course, once more, it's quicker data transfer, and you have less power consumption on these low energy modes. USB Type-C. And by the way, just that mono, it's not like we have heard in some leaks that there might be a stereo or something here. And then it's once more like the predecessor, IP68, meaning it's protected against dust and water. And it's Android 7, of course. You might have already seen these features here, like I've shown you in the separate video concerning Android 7 Nougat. For example, long press, and then you have these chances here to have context sensitivity options to do, for example, choose this one or whatever, you know, these one I shown you. And I will have to show you in a separate video that desktop experience. You might know that as Windows Continuum with Windows phones. Now it's coming to Android here, so meaning you will get extra charge, of course, a dock, and if you attach on that dock a mouse and keyboard and monitor, you can use your phone like a desktop computer, meaning it's a hard and it's a memory, but you can work on the big screen and have all these apps you have installed here. You're working on that hardware, but you use the bigger screen and the mouse and the keyboard for easy typing and texting. You know this from Continuum, I guess. Yeah, first impression, it's expressive, that experience here with that huge screen, but you don't have the chance to choose like on the predecessors. If you said, oh, I don't need that, now it's $100 more if you want it or not. This is $7.99 instead of $6.99, like always. German prices, including 19% tax, may vary depending on your country. €7.99 now and €8.99. So that's $100 more than the predecessors. And once more, glass can break, even if it's scratch-proof. So it's even more the problem if you are one of these guys letting drop your phone a little bit often. This might be not the best choice for you, but you have all these options I've shown you before on the edge screens. You know that with these side apps here, and for the VIP contacts and whatever, you know this. I don't have to show you once more. Once more, that fingerprint sensor is not the perfect position here, would have been better here, but there are good things also, like for example this swipe gesture here. I love that most, and it's very handy, I have to say, especially the smaller one. So it's a piece to desire. I really can imagine that. Okay, that's enough, I hope so, at least for you, for a first impression here from the launch event from the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. Thanks for watching, take care, and bye.